this week's Three Legs, Four Wheels F1 podcast. What the hell was that?
I laughed at what Kieran had just sent through and you'd already hit record.
We haven't had a clean week in months.
No. No. It's Kieran's fault. Don't blame me.
We end up missing a week because of a bad bout of flu again, and we miss another week because Amazon decided to crap itself and break the server. So we'll come back reinvigorated. And
I can't tell if I'm laughing at the photo or the aftermath.
I haven't even seen the photo yet.
For the listeners at home, your audio description. Audi put on Facebook the quote, "They've just restocked the festive snacks," and it's the shot from turn 1 yesterday where half the field went off track, driving away from the circuit towards what's meant to be a hypothetical Audi. You had to be there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, let's just launch straight into it with that. Had a comment earlier from one of our listeners, Drew. They need to do something with turn 1 at Mexico. And the only suggestion that I could come up with was make it compulsory.
I mean, it is meant to be compulsory, isn't it? That is the general idea.
It's compulsory for 68 of the 71 laps.
It's not the first time we've seen it, though, is it? You know, it's almost every year that there's a race at Mexico. Somebody cuts over the grass, and then because it's lap 1, generally speaking, they get away with it. But it shouldn't be a choice of like, oh well, there might be something going on here, so I'm just going to choose to not do turn 2 because why not? I'm just going to skip turn 2 and go straight to turn 3.
There needs to be a chicane or something, doesn't there? Something to make it less of an advantage if you go that way, or more of a detriment if you go that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the rejoin lane.
That, don't we, Kieran?
Sorry, Chris?
Just gravel it. We know someone who can do that, can't we?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think he's currently doing his SATs, but once he's done that...
If you want to know what the hell that's all about, then listen to the interesting Patreon show that we've just recorded. And if you don't subscribe, go to patreon.com/3legs4wheels and sign up there from as little as £1, $1, or €1 a month.
I promise you there's no F1 stuff behind the paywall. It's all personal stories.
That is true. Well, we did say we were going to be doing some ranting about F1 on the end of the show.
I don't think that was a great sort of exclusive, though, was it?
No. So, yeah, there's no extra F1 content on there. It's just us talking crap for 30, 40 minutes.
Until we run out of crap.
Until we run out of crap to talk about. Right, I just want to say the level of stewarding and race direction at the Mexico Grand Prix was... Well, some of it happened.
Some of it happened and was wrong. Some of it happened... Oh, and some of it just didn't happen that was needed, and some of it was like, you can kind of see where they're coming from. It was just all over the place.
Inconsistent,
Very.
I think is the term.
Yeah. Allowing the marshals on track, or not telling the marshals not to go on track because Lawson pitted, and then him nearly running over him.
I think
retiring a lap later anyway.
Yeah, I think the allowing them on track, I get, because I think he was in the pit at that time. You didn't know necessarily when he was going to rejoin, because obviously he was doing a wing change. But the fact that no one was there going, lads, there's a car coming, stay where you are for a minute. What?
Yeah, it felt like the sort of level of stewarding you get at a soapbox derby in a high school or something. Like, can we be bothered to apply the rules? We don't know. Oh, there's a car coming. I should probably hop out over the hay bale. It was pretty poor. And I think, I don't know if has there been an official statement released? Because they managed to get one out for the Science VSC at the end very quickly. But I still don't think F1 have commented upon the marshalling as of recording 9 p.m. Monday night, sorry.
I feel like they have said they're looking into it. I feel like I saw something earlier.
No, fuck, they are checking.
See, the thing is, I don't mind if they check, as long as they all come to the same conclusion about things that happen the same time in the same bloody race.
Totally. Yeah. They need to figure out that, yes, they don't always have the same stewards, but they should have the exact same approach to common stewarding. And common stewarding isn't just, oh, well, Max cut a corner, but his axle was ahead, so it's all right. Not just that stuff, but the basic rules of you got some debris offline, don't worry about it until there's a safety car, then we'll worry about it. Not we'll stick someone out as soon as the last car comes past. What do you mean that wasn't the last car? What do you mean there's a car in the pit lane? Okay, get back over the fence now. Oh, God, that car's coming along. Oh, well done, you didn't get mashed.
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that's what happened. They just thought that Lawson would have been the last car around the lap. That went past, and they hadn't realised he'd pitted. So they went out onto the track because they thought they had a 50-second window or something.
Yeah, I
didn't.
assume that's exactly what happened. And yeah, the idea that there's no one double checking that or realising that there's a car in the pit lane and actually just having someone not doing the picking up of debris, just looking at the track while it's happening it's not great.
No.
No, and that's safety. That's not all contentious rule point. That's why we all turn up and do it safely, is because it's a safety rule.
Then I mean the other the next contentious one was the Lewis Hamilton penalty. At one point, it was under 3 separate investigations.
Yeah, they couldn't decide what to investigate him for, could they? They changed their mind a couple of times.
So he was under investigation for not following the race director's instructions.
The instructions
dismissed.
being drive down a return lane that was actually too narrow to fit an F1 car on.
Right, so that's not just my eyes. That lane was fucking tiny, right?
You
that
could-
was a
you
cycle
could-
lane.
that.
You could comfortably get a Fiat 500 on that.
I think that'd be tight looking at it.
Yeah.
Not just that, but I noticed during FP2, I think somebody did try and use it. Might have been Leclerc. But when you rejoin the track, you're rejoining at a 90-degree angle to the rest of the cars that are coming out. So it was perhaps poorly designed. But anyway, Lewis didn't get a penalty for that. He got a penalty for rejoining and leaving the track and gaining an advantage, which, looking at the replays, he did gain an advantage. He was behind Max at the corner where he left the circuit, and he had to leave the circuit, and he was ahead of Max when he came back on. But that's only because Max went off as well. Max didn't make the corner either. It just feels like there was not enough consideration taken into why he might have come onto the track ahead of the car that he was behind. It was a massive mess. It was a huge mess. The Verstappen-Hamilton thing that happened right down at turn 1, where Verstappen did one of his classic Verstappen lunges. 9 times out of 10, they come off fine. This one, Hamilton defended it a bit, but then Max sort of forced him off the circuit, and then it all got a bit messy. Max then had to leave the track because he then didn't get his line right through turn 2. Nothing happens with Max leaving the circuit at turn 2 and coming on miles ahead of Lewis Hamilton there. But then when Lewis tries to attack Max again into the next turn at 4, then Lewis has to leave the circuit, realizing that Max isn't going to make the corner. He goes down the escape road. Okay, does gain an advantage, so I understand the penalty. But the 10 seconds seemed harsh. 5, you'd have been like, okay, 5 seconds is fair enough. 10 seconds seems harsh, especially when nobody else got any penalties for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. When we saw Carlos Sainz doing it when he was battling Alonso, we saw Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc at lap 1, turn 1. Now, what I will caveat that with is that Max Verstappen was pushed a little bit wide onto that paint by Charles Leclerc, so he did have to go around the long way around and probably didn't want to take that line. But the best way to stop this is to put gravel where there's grass on those turns. Or water, because they definitely wouldn't do it then, would they?
Water.
I like the idea of a water feature.
Oh
That's
yeah.
fun.
I mean, they've kind of got one at Monaco, so yeah. And you wouldn't make a move like that at Monaco, would you?
No, exactly.
True.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Well, you can't. You can't make a move like that in Monaco because of that age-old technological advance called a wall.
Yeah, well, it's always been Martin Brundle's argument, hasn't it? The track limits aren't a problem at Monaco because of the barriers. So they need to treat the white lines like they are the barriers at Monaco. And if they don't do that, they should be penalised. There were a number of drivers who didn't do that. And, okay, again, I'm not saying that Lewis Hamilton shouldn't have got a penalty. I'm saying that his penalty seemed harsh. And why did he get a penalty? Nobody else did. Does seem a little suspect.
Well, there's a couple of things which are a little odd. Lewis didn't use the bike lane, and therefore he got a penalty. The reason I think it's 10 is because the old thing would be if you cut a corner and you drive off into the distance, 5 seconds was something that the driver who drives off into a distance can achieve. 10 seconds is harder. But circumstance makes a difference because that wasn't Lewis going, nah, sod you, I'm going off into the distance. He was ahead 3 corners before. He got lamped by Max. Max got nothing for that. I think maybe that's 5 for Max. I don't know.
And causing a collision and forcing another driver off the track, perhaps.
Yeah. You've got to look at it compared to other similar incidents, and that is something which we've seen before. We've seen harsher given when Rosberg decided Raikkonen didn't deserve to be on the track back at Malaysia that year. That was he was given a drive-through for that. That's much harsher than Max getting absolutely nothing for a very similar move. You'd also be miffed if you were George Russell because the two ahead are bickering, and yet they've both bickered and stayed out in front, and you've been overtaking yourself by someone who capitalised upon all that bickering in Ollie Behrman.
To be fair, I think
Ollie,
George did make it quite clear that he was miffed.
Yeah,
I think
he
he's
didn't go fair play, lads.
I think he's still going on about it now.
Yeah. I've got a McLaren up my arse. Okay, yeah, very good, George. Behrman was very lucky to keep his move on Max, I think, because that car must have been on the white line going into 7 by millimetres. He must have only just kept that on the track by millimetres to get ahead of Max in that move. It was all a mess, all an absolute mess. Did Lewis deserve 10 seconds? Probably. I think I might have bent the rules there and given him 5, but that's because that's why I shouldn't be a steward, because I'd be bending the rules. And generally, I'm not one to sort of go, oh, let Lewis off, he's okay. So, yeah, maybe it is 10 for Lewis. Should Max have got a penalty? Yes, definitely. I think that is I think we've seen him penalised before. It sets a weird precedent when you look at Lando for leaving the track and gaining advantage, but you're not looking at anything for the reason he had to do that 3 corners before. Leclerc on the first corner, he cut the corner and he ended up ahead of Hamilton, when you'd have to say at the apex of the first corner, lap 1, Lewis was ahead. Mm-hmm. Lewis was very much ahead of Leclerc. So Charles is very lucky there.
Yeah, they were saying on TV if it was separate teams, then they'd be on straight onto the. If Lewis was still at Mercedes, they'd just be straight on the blower saying, "No, look, Charles got to give that place back." But because it was the same team, they didn't say anything, obviously. Because
he sort of did without saying it, didn't he? He sort of did. He ask sort of like, "Oh, what about the cars that ran wide?" I think he didn't name Leclerc specifically,
but he just hinted at it very strongly.
Monegasque bloke with the dog, that one. Well, that could be anybody, Lewis. I don't know who you mean.
Novak Djokovic?
He's not Monegasque.
Has he got a dog?
I don't know if he's got a dog.
Oh, he has. He always turns up on Instagram with his little yappy dog.
Ah.
That's the most Yorkshire you've ever sounded. Oh, he has.
Also, I don't think...
He's probably Monegasque for tax reasons.
Fair.
Yeah, he monogas for
Yeah.
tax reasons, yeah. Everyone's monogas for tax reasons if you're rich enough. Charles Leclerc was born in Basingstoke.
And then we come to the VSC at the end. Contentious at the time, but Carlos's car was looking like it was about to burst into flames. There was a lot of smoke coming from the back end of that, and they ran the normal, oh God, there's about to be a car on fire procedure, which is get some marshals behind it with fire extinguishers and throw the VSC.
Yeah, and because of where it was stopped as well, it's the arse end of the car was not on the circuit, but just offline. So you had to, thanks to the reason that the VSC is in, they had to throw it, even though it was unfortunate. We kind of got robbed of that last lap Leclerc Verstappen battle, because I think that would have been amazing to watch. But yeah, it was necessary, even though it didn't look like it was at first glance.
I mean, the way that Sainz was struggling to get the car off track as well, that thing was crabbing at about 45 degrees, so he must have wrecked the rear suspension when he hit the wall after the spin.
Yeah, because he sort of drove it, didn't he? But it definitely wasn't.
The back end wasn't pointing in the same direction as the front end. But after looking at what other angles and other onboards that have turned up today, I can now actually fully see why they threw the VSC. I was just about every other viewer. I was like, "What the bloody hell!" at the time.
It was the timing was a shame, wasn't it? Because obviously there were some good on track battles, and I think just generally, given how the rest of the race had gone, you could kind of think, "Oh, what is race control doing now?"
But I am definitely standing in the yes, they did the right thing camp with that.
After seeing it, yes.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the smoking rear end of Carlos Sainz. What a sentence! Can't believe those words too.
Will you be using L'Oreal men's shampoo in future now that? Actually, hang on. I need to ask this question. Out of all the people that they could have got to advertise hair thickening shampoo, someone who was never and will never need it in his life
Is a dude with a lot of hair. Maybe that's because he
Tell you
uses
what, though, the
L'Oreal.
marketing department have played a blinder, though, haven't they?
Yeah, but Johnny Herbert wouldn't sell. So
Look at how thick my hair is.
I mean, don't forget.
Buy this thing.
Don't forget, they used to have Jean Lacey as a shampoo salesman. I think it was Head and Shoulders. And I'm sure I've said this before on the pod.
Dubbing, wasn't
but
there?
they
There was a dubbing
dubbed an
incident.
American voice on him.
But do you remember they did this with Alonso when he?
I'm Ferrari driver Jean Lacey. Like, no.
I'm sure they did this with Alonso as well when he was at Ferrari and he was in. I think it was a Fiat advert, and they again dubbed him with some weird sort of American Spanish sort of accent, which one clearly wasn't him, and two, if you know who that is, you know how he sounds, and three, he speaks good English. He doesn't need an English voice.
Did they have to pick the one fucker that Jane fancies, though? Be surrounded by... Like, none of my crushes are doing adverts in Milton Keynes Shopping Centre. Carly Rae Jepsen, Davina McCall, Rose Matafeo, you don't see them anywhere. You see none of them. But Carlos, oh. Oh, Jane. Oh, Jane. Oh, no. Oh. Sorry, that's awful.
This has taken a turn.
There was a race. It was the race where Carlos caught fire and he retired in Austria a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
When the marshal tried to kick the fire out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works.
Was he trying to kick the fire out, or was he trying to kick the car back up?
Yeah, because the car was rolling, wasn't it, while on fire?
Yeah. He had a Toblerone in his pocket. Lucky for him. But when he first went off, before he was in absolute flames, he just went off. And they cut to him just slightly smoking, a bit on fire. Jane genuinely leapt towards the TV and went, oh no, honey, what's happened? With the affection of if I'd walked in with an arm off. Well, I'm right here.
This is the fault of the Husky chocolate advert from all those years ago,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, right. Yeah, anyway.
I wish I'd never seen it, but I can't unsee it.
Yeah. I've got it on a bloody mug.
I mean, don't forget they replaced him with Marcus Ericsson.
To Husky chocolate.
Yeah.
Does Husky chocolate still
Speaking of
exist?
I don't think it ever
It
did.
was never like actually available for sale anywhere, was it?
There was plenty of
Yeah.
you could buy the merch on the on their website, but you couldn't actually buy the product.
Yeah, we chatted about this,
Sounds
didn't we? But
familiar.
you still can't.
Anyway, any other ranting points before we go team by team?
I'm okay for now.
I don't think so. It's just in general. I think this raises the argument, doesn't it, of in a broader sense that the FIA really do need to look at employing a full-time race steward, not necessarily race director, but a race steward that goes to all of the races, at least one. Possibly, a team that can sort of rotate, so there's 2 out of the 3 or whatever at every race, so that there is consistency in the decisions that are made race to race, and also within the race as well. It's just, this isn't my idea. George Russell, I think, came up with this in a letter from the GPDA to the FIA at early last year, beginning of this year, possibly. So, yeah, it's something that needs looking at. And it's got to make Formula One look stupid if they carry on with the status quo.
Is the issue the stewards, or is the issue that the rules have too much room for interpretation?
Well, that's the
I
problem.
think that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, I think the problem is some rules have too much room for interpretation. Other rules have absolutely zero room for interpretation, and
But
you
somehow
can't
it happens anyway.
and you can't take any circumstances into account.
Yeah, it's like I imagine they're looking at a flow chart, being like, "Did he do this? Yes. Okay. Did he? No. Okay. And what's the I can give him 5 seconds. Okay, 5-second penalty for that man for farting in his car."
Actually, yeah, just one last rant while we, well, not rant really, while we're talking about the FIA. I'd like to congratulate MBS on winning the next 7 elections.
Oh, God. Yeah, this is ridiculous. So the story goes is that every continent has a number of FIA delegates who can nominate one person for the presidency to run in a FIA presidential election. However, for some reason, South America only has one delegate, and therefore that one delegate has all the power. And that delegate is Fabiana Eccleston, and she's gone for MBS. So
course she has.
nobody else, Tim Meyer, Carlos Sainz Sr., Bob from down the road, none of them can run because she holds all the power with her vote. Ridiculous.
And
That is-
the only person who can change that rule just happens to be MBS.
And isn't he changing the rule after this election, which basically means nobody can stand against him anyway?
Probably.
Yeah.
Donald MBS.
So, yeah, we have many more years of this to come, and we thought Mosley was bad. Oh, hang on, he was.
Well, he was.
yeah.
Yeah.
There can be 2 bads.
I mean, the problem with Mosley is that he was whipped.
You can say that. Moving unswiftly on, let's start with Alpine.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Have they given up on...
Mosley to Briatore.
Have Alpine given up on next year's car already?
This is about the time in the year where they do.
There was a point, wasn't there, where both Colapinto and Gasly were roughly occupying the same space of track, and I saw them on TV, and I went, "Oh, the Alpines are racing," and I realised it was because we were only watching them racing because they were being lapped.
Yes.
By the
Yes,
medical car.
Well, didn't Crofty say something quite harsh, where a real sting on Alpine, but also a bit harsh to Ollie Behrman, where he was coming through and lapping the Alpines, and he said something like, "Oh, this is bizarre. Usually it's Behrman who's being lapped."
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I
That
wonder
guy
if
is
he
in
knows how to
fourth.
lap people."
Damning with faint praise.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, did Alpine do
backhanded
anything?
compliment if you ever had one.
Yeah, did Alpine do anything notable?
No.
They were lapped by Ollie Behrman.
Well,
Does
yeah.
that count?
They were overtaken by Lance Stroll.
Ooh, so that is quite bad.
God.
Yeah,
For the second week running.
yeah, he did. Did Stroll did 2 stops, so he did actually find himself behind them and had to pass them on track.
Wow.
It's gotta hurt.
That is when you know that this season has been an absolute waste of time. Pardon me. Actually, we will do Aston Martin next. Stroll in 14th and Alonso DNF'd again, because that's now his full name.
Do we know why? Was it brake issues for Alonso? Something like that?
I don't know, actually. I've not seen what the...
I'm sure I read brakes.
I think the issue was that he was in the 2025 Aston.
That would have done it.
True.
Very unreliable car, isn't it?
It is strange, isn't it, how they run? They're still running Mercedes engines, aren't they, at Aston? They'll run some Williams gear, because every team on the grid runs some Williams gear, and they'll have the same engine and gearbox package as McLaren. Yet their reliability is nowhere near Mercedes or McLaren.
It's very odd.
According to the post-race press release from Aston Martin, Alonso said, "Unfortunately, about halfway through the race, we had to retire the car as a precaution."
To not lose an
against
engine,
what?
maybe. Yeah, I mean, Mexico's not particularly. It's not because the altitude isn't. Oh no, it is quite harsh on the engines.
It
isn't
is,
it?
and
Because of
it's
the
hot
altitude.
as well, isn't it? So
yeah,
cooling
yeah.
can be a...
Yeah, so
a
they
faff.
may have lost an engine, and obviously didn't want to do that when you're so close to the end of the season, getting a grid penalty.
Yeah, I mean, Alonso was driving around with a flappy front wing end
Yes.
plate for a while. This is how bad Alpine were, actually. Stroll spun on the first lap and then caught the Alpines and passed them.
Yes.
Oh, he
Oh,
did
yes.
spin, didn't
I'd
he? Yeah,
forgotten
I
that.
forgot about that. I watched somebody spin in the background. I was like, "That's going to be Lance Stroll." And
I
they
made
went
the
up, "Oh,
exact
of
same
course it is."
comment.
Alonso's had 5 retirements this season, which is the highest on the grid.
That is a lot.
No, that's sad. Yeah.
And then Stroll hasn't retired from a race this season. He
been a few where
withdrew
you-
from
yeah.
Spain.
Physically, you mean?
Physically, he hasn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah. He retired
mentally,
mentally
he's
in
yeah.
2018. Mentally, he's playing Yannick Sinner. So yeah, he's only withdrawn from Spain. Is he the only driver not to have any retirements? No,
Carlos
George
Stroll
Russell.
crashed.
George Russell hasn't. But yeah, unbelievably, he's not had one, and it's only him, and only him and George Russell haven't retired all season.
What a pair that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's coming
But-
together in Abu Dhabi then.
it also goes to show Alonso's bad luck. Alonso retired in Australia. We knew he was, well, that was his own fault. He crashed in the wet. He retired from China when he was 8, and he would have ended up 5th or 6th because half the field in China got disqualified.
Yes.
He retired from Monaco with brake failure. He retired from Italy with suspension failure. And he's retired from Mexico with TBC.
Maybe this is Lance Stroll's secret genius, because he recognises that the car has a reliability issue, so he's just driving really slowly as a bit of mechanical sympathy. Whereas Alonso is trying to drive fast and keeps breaking it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a
I was
serious theory.
I was picturing Lance Stroll like Mrs. Doyle in Father Ted with the Tea Master, just sticking a screwdriver in there and hoping it breaks. That's more the evil genius I had in my mind there.
But yeah,
Maybe onto something there. I mean, Colapinto hasn't crashed as much recently. Maybe he's decided that the car's
He
shit.
did something, though, didn't he? He did something in qualifying. Did he get a bit airborne that made Briatore do exasperated face?
oh, he did. Yeah, he got airborne and then ran wide, didn't
Yes.
he? Just as coming into the stadium. Yeah.
All right. Talking about getting wicked air, RB. Lawson managed 5 laps, some of them with a complete car. Mm-hmm. And Hadjar, they were waiting for a safety car for him, weren't they?
Probably.
I think so. Yeah, he was very slow at the end of the race, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he kept getting overtaken, didn't he? He was on for a point.
Yeah, he was looking like he was going to be fighting Bortoletto for 10th, and then he just ended up 13th and just plummeted when the tyres went off.
Yeah.
I mean, Lawson obviously losing half the front wing in the turn 1 fun and games didn't help matters. As for retiring the car, I didn't see. And again, I should catch
I feel
up on
like
these
they said it was
press releases.
floor damage.
Yeah, might be if he got a bit of the front wing.
It was
stuff
definitely
underneath
damage
it
as a
and
result
cracked along
of
the
that.
ground.
Oh, it was side damage,
I'll do it.
Okay.
and he personally blames Carlos.
Right, well, I'm sure Carlos is devastated.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
drivers.
so Hadjar actually got overtaken by quite a lot of people, didn't he? Because he was ahead of Hamilton when Hamilton did his penalty stop. So everyone from Hamilton down to Hadjar actually passed him. So Hamilton, Ocon, Bortoletto, Tsunoda, and Albon.
The Tsunoda one was quite elbowsy, wasn't it? That was a real, like, you're not taking my seat without a fight kind of pass.
It was a bit personal.
Yeah.
And it came across that way.
Yeah, I mean, they've said, without saying it, they were obviously waiting for a safety car for Hadjar, and but yeah, the Lawson quotes are a little telling. A lot of drivers were sliding, and I left plenty of space next to Carlos, but he decided to cut the chicane without looking left, which means he drove into the side of my car and destroyed it.
Did Carlos not have an Alonso at that point? Was that not the issue for Carlos?
That might be that one, yeah. Which
Yeah.
is when he cut the maybe that's why he was under investigation. But yeah, that might have been at that same point.
Looking at Carlos's, turn 1 was a melee of cars, and I had contact with a V car, which damaged the rim of my tyre.
You don't want a damaged rim.
And damaged all the front tyre sensors, meaning the pit limiter didn't work.
Yes, that makes
Well,
sense. There we go.
yeah, we're going to come back to that, aren't
Yes.
we?
Well, should we do
not on
Williams
are
now?
we? Yeah,
Well,
we
in,
should
in,
be, I
in
think.
fact, we will be doing Williams now.
Well, okay, so do we cover off Albon's rather meh race first?
Yeah, he was a bit grumpy, wasn't he, on the radio?
What an angry man he was on the team radio at one point.
He's getting angrier the longer this season goes.
It happened
he is. I
about
think
this
it's
time
because
last year, I feel, as well.
Worst strategy I've ever been given the other week.
Yeah.
Well, he scored in. He hasn't scored in the last 4 races, but he scored in the 5 races previous. So he's on a bit of a dry run at the moment, Albon.
Whereas Sainz
And
has had
given-
quite a good run.
Yeah, and some will say, "Oh well, Sainz has just got used to the car now; he's up to speed." But we're forgetting how good Albon was earlier on in the year. He's picked up a few fifths or so. First round, he finished on the road 4th, but they gave Antonelli a place back, didn't they? He had a couple of fifths around mid-year or so, so he's done very well. It's just Sainz has picked up
Caught
his
him
pace
up.
a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did. I'm sure he had a very similar sort of energy this time last year before Colapinto started crashing, when it was like, oh, this Colapinto guy is quite good. and was picking up points. And Albon a few times was a bit shirty about it on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, generally speaking, we didn't see a lot of Albon, did we? Really on
No.
the screens,
No.
there wasn't much going on in terms of his race. I feel like he had quite a quiet race, which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I suppose.
Except for the ranting.
Yeah, the winner had an incredibly quiet race as well. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a quiet race, but it means very few dramas other than the obvious driver not liking strategy.
And then looking at Carlos, so it was the coming together with Lawson that looked like it just screwed the whole thing up for him.
This is brilliant.
Two pit lane speeding penalties, and then you get a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane.
Your pit limiter's fucked. You go in, you can't do anything. You have your pit stop. It says, "Oh, speeding in the pit lane." You're getting 5 seconds next time you pit. You pit again. Your speed limiter is still fucked. You have to take the penalty in your second trip to the pit lane. This time you've been given a drive-through penalty and have to go through the pit lane to serve it, where your pit limiter remains fucked. So you can't do it.
Do you reckon this
No, I
is
don't
why he
know.
crashed? He just didn't want another penalty.
Yeah, sod this. Whomp in the wall. Night, lads.
Yeah,
Come
I don't
out,
know.
will ya?
this
I don't know if he got a penalty for not serving the penalty correctly, but I was confused as to why they asked him to drive through the pit lane again when he was like, "Well, this is the problem, guys." Like,
Is it like an escalation because he's already had one penalty for doing the exact same thing?
I mean,
Do they then escalate
so
it?
the next one would have been a 10-second stop and go.
yeah, the only thing he could have done would have been to do it manually. So literally just slow the car right down. Don't put the pit limiter on and try and guess. Because, I mean, you will know from the sound of the engine roughly how many revs in that gear will the limiter will be doing. Trying to do it manually is probably not advised, but that's the only other way he could have done it.
Well,
It's not allowed.
It's
It's
what
not
Is
allowed.
it not
You
allowed?
you have to put your pit lane speed limiter on. You're not allowed to run in the pit lane without it. So
Right. So that's even worse
you-
then.
so
Because I
you-
had this idea last night, and then Karun very briefly mentioned it at like the last 5 minutes of a breakdown show when they're discussing other drivers. That it's illegal not to put your pit lane speed limiter on when you're entering an active pit lane during an active session.
But at
So-
least you will see the speed on your dash.
That's true. Yeah, you'd put the pit lane speed limiter on and just rev a tiny bit, just go at 50 or something. Maybe that's the idea.
I mean, this is another one in which Formula One and NASCAR may look occasionally similar because they both use cars, but they are completely different. In the NASCAR Cup Series, the cars don't have speedometers. So on the warm-up lap, or one of the warm-up laps, because I think they have about 3 or 4 on most of the tracks, the safety car drives through the pit lane with the pit lane speed limiter on, and the drivers have to work out what revs they need to go at that speed through the pits.
They used to do this at TT as well, I'm sure, when they first brought in.
But they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
because they
everyone
don't
has a
have- They
speedo.
don't have speedos. No.
They're
race
unaerodynamic.
bikes- Yeah, race bikes won't have speedos. There's no point in knowing how fast you're going. So yeah, they set it. They have they do have limiters on their bikes, but what they do is they set them to the certain amount of revs, which is why when you watch them in practice week, they do the pit lane testing, and they're allowed to be told whether or not they were speeding through the pit lane, so they know how to dial their actual limiters in for the pit lane.
I think
But obviously
MotoGP bikes don't have speedos, but they do have Nokia 3310s because they actually communicate by text message.
Oh, the little dash messages that they have.
Yeah, I'm convinced it's a Nokia 3310 because that is the only thing that could survive a crash at those speeds.
Okay.
Right, where are we next? Probably I'm going
With
to chuck.
Sauber?
I'm going to say I'm going to chuck Sauber out there.
Now, Nico Hulkenberg was very impressive on Friday. It's a shame they weren't able to carry that throughout the whole weekend.
He was looking like there was a chance of him being vaguely impressive on Sunday, given the best of a bad situation, but it didn't happen.
No.
Well, he was breaking down on the way to the grid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
And he lost 5 places in the first corner, so that probably tells you all you need to know.
I mean, that's the second time his car's shat itself on the formation lap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had Bortoletto in the other car doing some heroics in the last few laps to get that point.
Yeah, because he started about 16th, 17th, didn't he? So he's
16th, yeah.
16th. Yeah, so 6 places up with a point ahead of Yuki, who started in the top 10, ahead of Hajar, who started in the top 10. Yeah, very good.
I mean,
His first point in a few races as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you knew that something was going to
Yeah.
go badly wrong for Sauber because Jonathan Whitley was the pit lane team principal for Sky this weekend.
His voice doesn't match his face.
No,
Oh,
no, he either looks wrong or sounds wrong, and I don't know which one it is.
I think he sounds wrong. I never tell him that, obviously.
I like it that when they do those sort of to the pit wall chats with the various, be it Horner back in the days when he was involved, or Zach Brown or James Vowles, it's very intelligible in the really important active moments because they realise they're on air for a tight amount of time and they need to get the answer of what's going on in the race. And then in the practice sessions, they might have a bit more of an informal chat. They'll talk about something not as important, something that isn't necessarily related to exactly what's happening on track. But Jonathan Wheatley has absolutely every opportunity to point out how fat Crofty is. He will. It doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes into FP1 or it's lap 25 of a race. He'll go, "Oh, a lot of sausages down at the breakfast buffet, eh, Crofty? Hey, 23." He just fat shames Crofty the whole time.
I have not picked up on this.
Never noticed
any-
that.
Any space for a change in strategy with Gabrielle in this race, Jonathan? I don't know. There wasn't much change in strategy for you at lunch yesterday, was there? 3 sausages, was it, David? Stuff like that. It's just brilliant. I mean, he does say, "Oh, we're friends," but I do think, "Oh, yeah."
Oh, that was another one about Sky talking to people at strange moments, dragging Alonso's chief mechanic away just as they were doing the first fire up on the engine pre-race.
Yeah, it's like we've just seen the piece. You don't need to then drag him away from his job to
And there
talk
was just a
about
very
the piece
awkward
we've just
microphone
seen.
situation.
Yeah, so Bernie handed over her mic just as Lazenby said, and Bernie can put some points in as well, and she's standing there waving with both hands at the camera. Right, where to next?
So basically, Sauber, unlucky Hulkenberg, but amazing Bortoletto.
Yes.
Let's go.
And even in his own quote, it's his first home Grand Prix next time out.
Yes.
No pressure.
That'll be fun.
But apparently, massive pressure because the Brazilians are already going nuts for him.
Yeah, they're not a subtle lot when
No.
really giving it to their own drivers, are they? Given
No.
that when Stroll did his silly little "oh, I've spun, that gravel looks warm" moment last year,
Yeah.
they were already cheering for Drugovich when he was off.
Before he even got out of the pit. He didn't get out of it, did he? He got beached. But he was chanting Drugovich's name at Lance Stroll in a gravel trap on the formation lap.
Big pressure up ahead, but I think Bortoletto will be fine. You are going to see a feature of, I don't know, I was about to say Damon, but he's not with Sky anymore, but a Karun or a Ted going round Sao Paulo with Bortoletto and him slowly getting mobbed. We're bound to see one
That
of those.
screams Ted. That screams Ted feature, that does.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. how about we do Mercedes next? A 6th and a 7th.
Strange race for Mercedes.
Yes.
They weren't slow, but they weren't quick. They were just no man's land, really.
Well, according to
They weren't-
George, if you let him have his positions back and take all the cars out of his arse, he can get a podium.
But he didn't.
But even when they did swap, he had no answer for Oliver Behrman's pace.
No.
Neither of them did. Antonelli nor Russell. They couldn't
No.
catch him.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always said Mercedes have had cooling issues for quite some time, and I think they may be striking back again now.
Yeah, this is probably a bit of a. They've had about 3 or 4 weekends in a row which have been quite unique situations. Hot tracks, hot times of year, and this time the elevation of Mexico isn't helping the cooling either because it's such a.
I think this has
You
come
know,
up in
thin
previous
air circuit.
years, hasn't it? That the Ferrari engine seems to just like the altitude a bit better. Which
Yeah,
obviously-
George
they were
has
built
said
in the
before as well,
Alps.
hasn't he? Yeah, Mercedes doesn't work unless it's cold. Cold temperatures, like they got in Canada, the car works brilliantly.
Las Vegas last year.
Yeah, cold worked well. So you get similar temperatures in Las Vegas this year, then maybe that's a good chance for Mercedes. Otherwise, all the other races look quite warm.
Yeah, they're heavily on to next year now. I mean, technically,
think so.
George isn't out of the running for the Drivers' Championship. If he wins every race from here and,
I think he needs a bit of help, doesn't he?
well, and Lando, Max, and Oscar DNF
Yeah.
in everything, then he can still be world champion. We're into
I
we're
think
into
he's-
Parappa
he's-
the rapper
yeah.
levels of I've got to believe here.
Yeah.
I think that's a left field. That's a left field analogy. That one, Paul, very much so. But I think if Mercedes have got a half decent car for next year, which apparently the power unit looks good, if the car is good, I think George is a world championship contender. He's in brilliant form, but obviously he needs that car to work with him, as every driver does. And it's a diva, isn't it? That car, the Mercedes, has been since they did the Venturi tunnel ground effect things.
We haven't done a show since he re-signed his contract, have we?
No,
No, I don't think so.
we haven't.
No,
Thank you,
He's on
Andy.
a sometime in the future deal. It could be this. It could be the end of next year. It could be. They call it a multi-year deal, but that could be your classic 1+1.
I think a few
that's
people
what
have
it
said
is,
it's
yeah.
1+1. Yeah.
Yeah, and that
So-
could be for him and Antonelli as well. It could be both of them who have that.
Yeah, I mean,
did like how-
Somebody was reporting today, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody was reporting that the delay in announcing George's contract was because Max had not made a decision on Mercedes until very late on.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Awful as it sounds, George has been amazing this season, potentially the second best driver this season. But he's not Max, and Mercedes have Max money. So you're gonna hold out and see, aren't you? I do like the way that George turned around and said, what was it they said? How long is the contract for? He got asked. Or how long is the contract in a press conference? He said, 45, 50 pages.
Nice.
Yeah, I just wonder what Mercedes are going to do next year if Max becomes available and who gets farmed out.
Everything would be a straight race between Kimi and George, won't it? Basically, and whoever comes out on top, in these new regulations, is probably more likely to retain their seat. They've invested a lot of time and money into both of those drivers. Both Kimi and George are Mercedes young drivers. The only other team I can think who have got two young drivers that they've nurtured in their cars. Nobody at all.
McLaren?
RB maybe.
McLaren?
Well, McLaren was Piastri's an Alpine.
That's true.
Youth,
He
isn't
sort of
he?
hopped over, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So in Red Bull, Yuki, I suppose he's come up through Red Bull, hasn't he? So
Well, that was he was put there by Honda, wasn't he?
Yes.
he was, which makes his position precarious for next year. Does he go over to Aston Martin and become a reserve driver?
Yes. Because he's
that's done,
he's
isn't it?
not going to be driving for a team based in either Milton Keynes or Faenza.
No.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a bit, but latest they have ever been, I would say, Haas.
Yes.
Haas still haven't had a podium, have they?
No, this
No.
is their joint best finish.
Well, they did have Hulkenberg driving for them, so.
But he's a podium finisher now.
But not with Haas. Yeah, matching the best finish. I was screaming at the TV towards the end about they're going to need to pit Ocon because I just did not think his tyres would last. Because I think he lost, what was it, 3 places in 2 laps?
In sort of quite quick succession, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very much like Isaac Hadjar.
Because I think when everyone else ahead of him made the second stops, I think he came out behind Piastri. He was behind Piastri, and ended up finishing ninth. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's still a great performance for him because the Haas car has just been so up and down this season. But
Yeah.
what are they feeding Behrman?
He's had a good run, hasn't he? The last few races, he seems to have really hit a bit of form.
Do you think he had like a talking to? When he had like you can't have any more mistakes, otherwise you're banned for a race. Do you think somebody sat him down and was just like, you can't be at this level when you're a Formula One driver. We need you at the level that we saw you at point X and Y or whatever.
Possibly.
And then Behrman sat there and gone, Christ, yeah, no, they're right. I really need to start performing without making mistakes. And somehow has managed to dial that in because that was a hell of a performance. When they were talking to him before the race, and they said, "Oh, ninth, start from ninth is the objective to sort of stay there, maybe score a couple of points today." Yeah, that's the idea. Hopefully, come home with a few more points today. Fourth.
Yeah, I think it's the qualifying that's making the difference for him, isn't it? 'Cause I think early in the season they kept talking about him being the person who's made the most places off the grid, which means he's qualified shit. And he had that run, didn't he, where he kept finishing in 11th, but then the last few races he's qualified. He's been through to Q3, so I think that's where he's kind of making up his performance. He was getting into stuff in the races because he was a bit out of position for where his race pace was because his qualifying pace was not there.
He had 4 11ths in a row, didn't he?
Something like that, yeah.
That's a joint record.
But when you look at the other teams on the grid, does a Haas have any business even being 11th? Because you got McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes taking up usually like the first 8 spots on the grid. Not all the time, obviously.
No.
7, yeah. Yuki Tsunoda, yeah, 7. And then sometimes it's Aston Martin. I mean Fernando Alonso. Sometimes it's Williams, and occasionally it's RB. It's rarely Haas that then take up that next team on the grid. But to see Ollie Behrman like ahead of 1 McLaren, 2 Mercedes, a Ferrari, do you know what I mean? That's really. It's quite special.
Yeah.
It is a special performance. And yeah, he got some luck, but you've got to take your luck. Of course you do.
Ocon's had some very good, I've qualified shite, let's stick on some hards and see what happens.
Yeah,
sorts
he
of
can
races
do a
this season.
tyre strategy, can't he, Ocon?
Yeah. He's sort of done that this weekend, I guess, because Ocon started, Well, he was only just outside the top 10, was he? He was 12th or something like that. He qualified 12th and moved up 1 from Sainz. So, yeah, 11.
Yeah.
So he's only moved up 2. But he had some very good races early on in the season where he was 8th, 9th in the championship, and then he fell off entirely in the middle of the season. And it started to feel like Behrman was very much getting on top of Ocon, and Behrman is getting on top of Ocon, but it's for sort of different reasons. Like you say, Behrman's been qualifying quite well, and we're back to binary Haas where one car qualifies well and one doesn't. But
Yeah.
then, when was the last time we saw both Williams in the top 8 or top 9 on the grid? That never really happens. There are some binary teams, and this time it does feel like Behrman is on a good run of form. Points in the last 3 races, okay, not in the sprint, but in Singapore he was 8th or 9th. In USA, he, despite him and Tsunoda trying to wipe each other out, he got a couple of points there when Tsunoda got a few more. This is good stuff from Behrman. This is very good. A real sort of 10 out of 10 performance from Behrman this weekend. Not least in Q1, he was second. Him and Hadjar were at the top. You went, oh, could this actually happen? Is this like science in Azerbaijan where they actually are that quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but can't disagree with that in the slightest whatsoever. Right, Red Bull. While we're doing binary teams, Red Bull have announced that they are going to make an announcement about next year's cannon fodder
After Mexico.
after Brazil.
Yeah, they've now pushed back, haven't they?
It was meant to be this week coming.
After Mexico, after Brazil, which means, well, do you know what else is after Brazil? Christmas.
And another thing that's after Brazil, pre-season testing.
Yeah,
I mean,
2026.
Is the issue here essentially that they're waiting to see what Lindblad's points situation is?
That can be the only thing. 'Cause, I mean, he did FP1.
And was good.
Yes,
He was good in
He was
FP1.
good. He didn't kill
He was
anyone.
the top rookie. Yeah,
best
so
of
there
the
were 9
rookies.
rookies, weren't there, in FP1?
Didn't kill anyone.
Although Pato O'Ward did have the excuse that he'd been throwing up for 3 hours before and 3 hours after with food poisoning and
Yeah.
ended up in the medical centre.
Okay, we all have the
He
excuses.
did end up in the
Maybe-
medical
had
centre.
he had a dodgy
yeah.
sausage?
Maybe he did. Maybe he had a dodgy sausage. Yeah.
Ah, no, don't
And
forget
beware.
it's dodgy KFC there because when Will Buxton was commentating on the Race of Champions, when they had it in had that circuit in the Farasol a few years back, he was there on the Saturday and he was in hospital on the Sunday because he had KFC and it gave him food poisoning and missed
wow.
it.
Oops.
Excellent.
Boots indeed.
Lindblad
there were-
is
go on.
7th in the F2 Championship. He finished 4th in F3 last year. I don't know if that's enough points. But it's enough
That's
to do a
cuspy, I
FP1
think.
race.
Isn't
Didn't we
it?
work
That's-
it out that he needed? I'm sure we did this a few weeks ago. And I think we worked out that he needed a top 5.
That sounds about right. Talk among
But-
yourselves. I'll try and do some maths.
What we've just witnessed in FP1 was that he mugged Tsunoda. He finished 6th and Tsunoda finished 8th.
Yeah, he was
That's
a 10th
not
quicker than
ideal.
Tsunoda. So there were 9 rookies or test young drivers, whatever we want to call them, in FP1.
8 young drivers in Fuoco.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
You're very
But-
kind to the 31-year-old Antonio Fuoco.
Who was
Yeah, I
20th
know, I know.
overall? He was not good, bless him.
No, but the other 8 drivers who are not full-time Formula 1 drivers at this current time took up the lowest 8 positions. Aside from, as you just said, Lindblad, who was 6th.
Decent, probably better than Sonoda would have done.
So he might be one of those drivers. Do you remember when we had Virtual Statman on and he explained about Damon Hill's career, that somebody worked out that the more horsepower you gave him, the quicker he was, which might sound stupid, but he knew how to drive a car with more horsepower better than one that didn't have any. I wonder if Arvid Lindblad is the same. Give him more power and he just gets better.
So if he comes in, is his nickname going to be Exponential?
Maybe. I don't think Damon Hill named any of his kids Exponent, did he?
Exponential. Hey.
But yeah, Red Bull have got all. I mean, they've got double the decision because what are they going to do with Lawson next year?
I think Lawson
He'll stay.
stays and Sonoda goes.
I'm almost convinced that Sonoda's gone, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I
You,
just
you,
don't
need,
know
you keep
how.
Lawson because it's something you can measure Lindblad against.
Yeah.
Also, who else would they put in if not Lawson? Obviously, as we know, Jacques Villeneuve is pushing Alex Palou, which is a wild suggestion, but okay.
What is
That was
Jacques
one of the
smoking?
dangerous, yeah, Jacques Villeneuve will come back. We'll come back after the break, and Jacques Villeneuve will give us his opinion on who should be in that Red Bull seat. He came back from the break. He's like, Alex Palou. Like, hang on a second, Jack. You had a whole 90 seconds to think about that. And that's your answer.
There is a man who enjoyed 3 minutes and 50 seconds of the ads and spent the last 3 seconds going, "Oh bollocks!"
Yeah, what's the
Name a
silliest thing I
driver.
can say?
Sophia Flush.
I mean, the silliest thing that Jacques could say is, "I've got a new album coming out."
Well, yeah. Right, I've done some maths. I
He's
think
told
you're
him
right. I
it's
think
music
Lindblad
related.
would need to be 5th. Because yeah, he's got. So he was 4th in Formula 3 last year, so that's 15 points. He's done a reasonable result in the last few years in Italian Formula 4, which gives him a few points there. So yeah, if he got 20 points for finishing 5th in F2, he would have super license.
I mean, he gets 1 point for Friday.
Yes.
So yes, he's going to be in. I don't actually think the Red Bull organisation's got anyone else that they can step up really. So they'd have to buy in, because I don't think Kush Miney.
There's still the Alex Dunn conundrum, isn't there, and where he kind of
that's a
rattles
good
up.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Did we
does
mention
definitely need
Iwasa?
another year in F2.
Again, Iwasa, I think, is Honda.
And he was
Yeah,
in
good
FP1.
He
did
was.
okay.
Yes. He's someone I'd kind of forgotten about until I saw his name on the thing for like, FP1.
They'll probably stick him in Super Formula and forget about him.
I think that's what's happened.
Yeah. Who else have they done that to? Pato O'Ward, Dick Tantrum.
Briefly, Pierre Gasly.
Yes.
But they remembered him at the last second.
Yeah.
Oh
When
yeah,
they
and
didn't have
then he had to miss a race to go back for the to try and get the Super Formula title, which got rained off, and
Yeah.
then
Oh, yes.
couldn't get back in time. So Kvyat got a lifeline and then got fired again. Yeah. That was the season when nobody knew who was driving for which Red Bull team.
Yeah, that was very confusing. Brendan Hartley was there, though, and he has plenty of experience.
Oh, well, they could always bring him back.
So Ferrari then.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just before we do Ferrari, very quickly, Max Verstappen, this time last week we were saying, 63 points gained in 4 races. Is this time for Max to regain a grip on another title? This weekend, less so.
Actually, one Max stat that genuinely amazed me. In the 5 races before Mexico, he scored the same number of points as McLaren.
Oh, yeah, they put that up
Oh,
on
wow.
the screen, didn't they, in the
Yeah,
formation?
what was it? 119 points in the previous
Yeah.
5 weekends, because obviously there was a sprint as well.
Yeah.
And both McLaren drivers combined had scored exactly that.
Go on.
And Crofty made the joke about it's almost like he's a one-man team.
Well,
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Just-
a
Just as
there's
well
a
before
thing
we
with that. Yeah.
Just as well, before we do move on from Red Bull completely, I will throw another name into the mix. Leonardo Fornaroli, who is probably going to win F2, does not appear to be attached to anyone.
Which is mad.
It is mad because
Yeah.
he's
Reigning
also
F-
F3
reigning
champion.
Reigning F3 champion.
Yeah.
That consistent that he can actually take the F3 title without winning a race.
Yes.
Did he
And
win the last race of the season last year? That was his only win.
no, he didn't win at
No,
all.
I'm
He came,
sure
he
there
came
was some.
third.
There was some thing, wasn't there, about how he literally won no races all year.
I think he was
Or-
on the podium at least once a weekend.
And ended up with the championship.
Ended up taking the championship just through out and out consistency.
Yeah, he won at
Yeah.
Silverstone this year in F2, and it was his first race win since something like 2021.
Wow. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
now
but he seems kind of special, doesn't he? Because
Yeah.
obviously he's, F3 champion, going to go straight into F2, possibly be F2 champion. I know Luke Browning has a chance of being champion still, doesn't he?
Yes, he's owned by Williams.
Yeah. Problem is, a lot of teams just don't have space. It's only really the Red Bull outfits that do. Sauber/Audi have got Borstedt and Hulkenberg for 2 more years. Haas are probably not going to ditch Ocon in a hurry. Williams are done. Aston Martin are.
Well,
Yeah.
Fernando says 1, maybe 2 years, depending how good or shit the car is next season.
Yes.
Yeah. Alpine have basically said that it's Gasly and either Colapinto or Paul Aaron in the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Paul Aaron, he's not an F2 champion, but he's an F2 almost champion from last year.
3rd place, yeah.
And a Mercedes cast off, just...
He was a Mercedes young driver, yeah.
Yeah.
See, what do they do with Fred Vesti? Fred Vesti was an F2 champion.
And he will love WEC.
Or Formula E.
I think
Yeah.
he's...
I can't remember where he is.
I think he's been doing European Le Mans. Possibly building up to an IMSA or a WEC campaign. I'm sure I've seen him do some kind of
Yeah,
team
that
event.
sounds about right. Some kind of sports car. Where is he? Wikipedia is not loading quickly enough.
But anyway,
He
Max
has been doing
Verstappen.
IMSA. He's been doing IMSA.
IMSA.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're saying him in a sports car. So Ferrari,
Yes.
contentious penalty to lose positions. Contentious at the time VSC to maintain positions. And not fucking up a strategy.
We've sort of covered them, haven't we, really, Ferrari? Because nothing else really happened. Once Lewis had to serve his 10-second penalty, he was as good as done.
Yeah, I mean, Leclerc was definitely going to lose that second place to Max.
With
Or that would have
VSC,
been
I
how
think.
Behrman
Yeah.
got his podium if they'd tripped over each other.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Oscar would have been laughing as well. But, yeah, I don't know. A good weekend from Leclerc, second good weekend in a row. But it's too little too late for Ferrari. And still Lewis doesn't have his podium.
Yeah, Ferrari. Somebody from Ferrari said that, and it was kind of corroborated by Lewis Hamilton in the pen, that they stopped working on the 25 car a long, long time ago and decided that they would just concentrate on trying to get the maximum performance out of it. So they've been dialing in for 26 for a long time. So when you consider that they basically gave up on this year because they were like, "Well, let's go radical design and see if we can win a world championship." And then after like 4 races, we're like, "No, this isn't happening." Then it's quite impressive that they are as high up in the championship as they are, given that it looks like they've ditched out very early, given that Red Bull bought an upgrade to Austin. McLaren haven't brought an upgrade, I don't think, for a little while.
And they will not be bringing any more.
No. So, it is impressive, but given that they ditched out so early, I hadn't realised that they ditched out early. Their last upgrade, I think, was just after the summer break, and then that was it. They were like, no more.
I mean, considering
Haas
they
brought
are
them as well.
usually their own worst enemy, that could have gone so badly wrong for them.
Yeah, completely.
But
It didn't.
No, for once, Ferrari have actually done the...
We don't know this for sure though, because they've only done the right thing if next year's car is good.
They seem to be currently doing the right thing.
Because if next year's car is a dog, and we're talking about the fact that Ferrari actually seem to be semi-competitive in an undeveloped car, have they then thrown away a chance to be very competitive this year by focusing on next year and cocking it up?
Quite possibly, but
Let you know in about a year.
Yeah, but nobody knows what next year's regulations are going to be fully yet, because I don't think we're still waiting on everything to be finalised. Okay, we know what the engines are, but you can't just sit on an engine and win.
That'd be a series, wouldn't it?
Oh, then again, that's drag racing, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. And then that leaves us with McLaren. Lando driving into the sunset, Max style.
Very much.
30-second victory. When was the last time we saw somebody winning by 30 seconds?
It would have been, they did say at the time it was Max in Hungary, and I can't remember what year, but it was at 2023 possibly.
Yeah.
But you said it was the biggest margin of victory in bloody ages, and it wasn't all to do with squabbling behind him. He just had the car this weekend. Oscar got stuck with a variety of technical issues. He had a DRS problem during Q1. The engine was misfiring in Q2.
It's not just that though, is it? Has he got clenched jaw, do you think, Oscar?
Yes.
He had a 34 point lead or whatever it was, 36 point lead at one point, and now it's -1. Lando leads the championship by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Given that there are two very obvious point throwaways from Lando at Zandvoort and at Canada, where he dropped second place at both,
Well, he DNF'd in Zandvoort, didn't he?
Yeah, and in Canada as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Zandvoort...
Canada, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The
Zandvoort one wasn't his fault. The Canada one, if you no longer go for a gap...
Yeah, but Lando was going for a ant house. There was nothing there. He's when you consider dropped points. I think this championship might be a bit like 2021, where we talk about the occasions. If Piastri loses it, we're going to talk about his cock up at Silverstone with the braking under the safety car, or spinning off in Australia. Or potentially, you could argue, Baku, letting Lando back past at Monza. You could call that potentially a Piastri cock-up, even though I think it was definitely the right thing to do. If Lando loses the championship, you'll look at the DNF in Zandvoort. You'll look at him deciding that his teammate shouldn't be on the track in Canada. You'll look at the messed up weekend again in Baku, where he had his teammate in the wall at turn 3 on the first lap, and he finished behind Tsunoda and Lawson.
Yeah.
Though we're going to talk about these moments, however tight it is, if it's a few points or 10, 12 points, these are the ones which are going to get talked about. It will only become irrelevant if Lando wins the next 4 and Piastri doesn't get another podium.
If Max wins it, which is still possible, even though he didn't quite gain as many points, he still closed on the leader because he was 40 points behind. Oh no, Lando extended, didn't he? So he was 40 points behind Oscar, but he's now only 36 points behind Lando.
Yeah.
So there's been they both caught Piastri, but Lando extended his lead away from Max a bit. So it's still possible that Max could do it, but I can't think when has Max made a mistake where you could look back if he loses the championship.
Spain hitting George Russell and getting dropped down to 10th. That's his big error.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But he capitalised
Deliberately
from
driving
Piastri
into
spinning
him.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So, it's probably Spain, isn't it? It's probably him seeing red and going from 4th to 10th just because he didn't want George Russell's side pod to exist.
I mean, talking to Max, we did see the return of losing the head Max for the first few laps this week.
Yeah, it was quite loose, wasn't it, at the start of that?
Yeah, it was
Similar to last year in Mexico when he ran Lando off the track.
Yeah, so I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of, wild Max again, because there is a chance of him winning the championship. So he might just start getting his elbows out a little bit more than he would do otherwise. we've seen him for the rest of the the first 20 odd races of this season. And if he does, that could be the making or the breaking of his year. Like, he could be champion because of it, or he could get such a massive penalty and a disqualification from a race that's his championship over with.
I mean,
So
four races and two sprints left.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, he goes well at Brazil, Max Verstappen. He does tend to like Brazil. That was where it all sort of fell down for Lando last year as well, wasn't it, in his pursuit of Max? Because once again, Max had a poor qualifying and Lando had a good qualifying, and it could have been, a really big point swing in Lando's favour. Turned out to be the complete opposite. Max took advantage of the conditions, drove much better than everybody else, and ended up pretty much solidifying his title before they went to the next race.
Vegas is going to be a hard one to call, because if it's going to be practically sub-zero temperatures again, then we're just going to see both Mercedes disappear.
Might suit the Ferrari as well at Vegas.
And then
Qatar is a track where Piastri runs well, and Abu Dhabi is a track where Lando runs well.
and Max has got a history of winning that, but we
Yes.
don't too soon.
With four races and 2 sprints to go, then who do we all think is going to be champion?
One
This
of
is
the
a completely unscientific formula.
one of the current
whoever-
top three.
Yeah. It's whoever is better at damage limitation. So it's, if Max, does in Brazil what Lando did in Mexico and goes out and wins by 30 seconds, not only will he almost be lapping the entire field already, but it won't matter so much if Lando can come home second. That's a good amount of damage limitation. Obviously, there's a sprint in Brazil as well. And we got Vegas after that. Difficult to say. I don't think the Red Bulls or the McLarens are going to fare particularly well in Vegas. So again, it's all about damage limitation for all three of them. And then Qatar should be a McLaren circuit, but again, you can't rule Max out. And then Abu Dhabi, once again, should be a McLaren circuit, or rather a circuit that favours the McLarens, but it might not.
Good. That's some certainty.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
It's going to come down. But if Max is going to win all the remaining races and Lando can finish, second behind him, I think Lando would just about take the championship. I think
By 2 points, he would.
Yeah. So, yeah, it really is about maximizing when you're not winning.
I'm going to say Lando. But it's all on form.
Don't forget, Lando doesn't believe in momentum and form. He made
Yeah,
that
I
very
did-
clear
I
in
have
the.
I have not forgotten that several times this season.
Tell you what, I'm going to narrow it down to somebody from a country with a red, white, and blue flag.
Is the Dutch one red?
Yes, I've just looked it up. It's
Yeah.
George Russell.
it's bright vermilion.
Vermilion.
Yes.
It's sort of orangey red, isn't it?
Don't look at me, I'm colourblind.
Fair.
I will say Lando Norris, just because of, I know you say he doesn't believe in momentum, but overhauling that point at Zandvoort, we thought it was all over. We thought, well, that's it. Piastri's going to win the championship now, surely. Piastri was riding on a high. It was really bad for Lando to DNF in Zandvoort, and Max was nowhere to be found. Lando and Max have both closed in on Piastri. I just feel that early season is, the points picked up early season is just going to nudge Lando over the line.
I think Brazil is going to be the clincher for the championship this year. I think it's going to be the one out of the three of them who comes away with the best haul of points that weekend. But I couldn't tell you now which one of them it's going to be. But
So, for example, if Piastri wins the sprint race, but then finishes third in the Grand Prix behind the other two, you think you think if he's got the biggest points haul that he'll take the championship?
I think it's who, and again, this is going against Lando's not believing in momentum, but I think it's going to be who comes out of Brazil with the most out of both races.
Yeah.
I think the momentum
that
has kind of
could be
flip-flopped a
Max.
lot as well, hasn't it? So obviously Piastri had that kind of very strong spell early on. Lando kind of came into it a bit more middle of the year. Piastri then came back in again. It's been Verstappen really recently. It's hard to know, isn't it, who's going to be the one that gets the momentum, if you believe in that, in the last few races.
I'm just loving the fact that it's more than a two-way
Yes,
fight.
it is good. Do you know what? I think
Yeah.
I will go for Piastri. I think he's due a run.
But that
Yeah.
run needs to come now.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, not right
If
now.
he can
They're
unclench.
off at the minute.
Oscar has only won one race since Canada.
Yeah, so he's due.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to unclench and not be half a second off his teammate, because that's the problem, isn't it? Is that the field is so tight that you're 2 or 3 tenths off your teammate. It's not like you're behind them on the grid. You're like 6 places down.
Yeah, I'm wondering if not being at the top of the Drivers' Championship will actually weirdly help him.
Yeah, take the pressure
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, he's not quite as in the spotlight as the other two at the minute.
Yeah, leader, reigning champion, the other guy.
Yeah. I think it might suit him being the other guy for a couple of races.
Yeah, good point.
A couple of good races, and he stops being the other guy.
Yeah, but by that point, he's then got his momentum back.
Yeah. It's going to. I think it's
gonna
going to
be.
the wire.
Yeah.
It's going to Abu Dhabi, and I hope.
It's going to be one of the best endings, isn't it?
Yeah, and I hope to God we have a clean last 5 laps.
Yeah.
Rock stars and wankers. Behrman, Rockstar.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, driver of the day.
Lando.
Lando, definitely. I'm gonna throw George as a Gene Simmons. Great radio, but a little bit too much complaining.
Yeah.
Tariq, the taxi driver from Luton Airport to Leighton Buzzard last night with half an hour to go until
Excellent.
the race.
I hope he got a good tip.
Well, the cheeky bugger, actually, I would say he argued his way into a tip by saying, "Oh, I was waiting at the airport for 45 minutes." Yes, you were 45 minutes early.
Was he not heard a flight
That
radar?
That doesn't count. He did, yeah, because the second I landed and took my phone off airplane mode, he went, "Oh, where are you? I'm here. I'm on the plane. You just saw me land. Unless you're driving this baggage carousel, I can't help you." Gene
You're going to have
Simmons
to
Award
give
for
me a minute,
courage.
Tariq.
Yeah.
Sorry,
he
Tariq.
said-
I'm not one of these people that stands up as soon as the plane lands.
I was on a
So,
flight
yeah,
once with somebody who was that drunk they stood up before the plane landed. 3 people rugby tackled him. Anyway, other rock stars and wankers. Wankers, race direction
Yes.
and stewarding in general.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just needs sorting out. Sort it out.
I don't think I could give an Alpine or a Stroll, anyone like that, a wanker this weekend because there was nothing really wankery. Last weekend, Lance Stroll, plum. But this weekend, nothing.
Oh yeah, you mean the absolutely forgetting to brake for the corner?
To
that
using
the car
using
in front
Ocon
was
as a brake.
already
Yeah.
turning into.
Yes. He was giving the apology before the crash was even over. I heard someone say that during the week. It might have been Shift F1 they mentioned that. He'd done the Canadian apology before the carcass of Ocon's car had even found its final destination.
Yeah, the hand was out of the cockpit just as they made contact.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
I
No.
don't think so.
Yeah, we've all
Don't
gone
think
quiet.
so, no, I
once
think we're all
once
good.
again, thanks to doing a Patreon show, we have left it too late to do an Is That Glock.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Probably a bit.
Bit too late. Right, we'll do one next week because we won't have a race review.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
So, I mean, because there's been a lack of Isaac Glocks lately, we may even have 2.
Yes.
How exciting.
Santeri, your Isaac Glock will definitely get done next week.
Right,
I
we'll
promise.
swap on some fins then.
And if you want to send in an Isaac Glock, best way to send it is 3legs4wheels@gmail.com. Or if you're on Discord, look for the 3legs4wheels server, join in with that, and drop me a DM through Discord. And on the socials, we are at 3legs4wheels on just about all of them. And individually, you can find us
At Sean Cowper.
At Flood21.
At Kieran is boring.
and at Pablo100. Right, all being well, and if Amazon doesn't crap itself again, and nobody gets flu, we will be back next week. So we will see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.